Vanakkam, this is Chandralekha from K.S.Rangasamy College of Technology, Department of Mechatronics Engineering. Today, we are going to see about a topic called Safety Management from the course Industrial Safety Engineering. The contents that we are going to see today is History and Development of Industrial Safety, Formation of Factories Act and Safety Council, Safety Policy, Safety Committee and Safety Training. Now we'll go to the history and development of industrial safety. So dated back, safety is in our tradition and culture, and it is our life science. And the first control that was given for safety is indemnification. Indemnification is nothing but the punishment. We would have heard in our childhood days that the story of Manunidhi Choran. So he has just given the punishment as the so as to maintain the law of practice and the justice. And even we would have heard about the Hammurabi code of laws, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. And next one is, in earlier days, industries like mines and iron industry, textiles were sprung up in a large thing. And one more thing is, the workers were women and child laborers because the retention will be more in the case of workers and women workers. And based on this thing, they have just conducted a survey in that the people were analyzed that there were unhygienic situations and unhealthy situations that was prevailing in the industries. So based on this, what the authorities have framed, like they have just framed a stringent laws in order to maintain a safe culture and safe practice. And after that, they have taken a statistics. They have taken the World War amputation and fatality statistics, and they have taken the statistics of the industrial accidents during those days. And the thing that was very shocking is the amputation was much more than the World War reported statistics when compared to the industrial statistics. So what government has decided is, in order to frame a new act to look over the health and safety welfare of the workers. And these was the pictures where child labor were involved in the textile industry and also the mine workers. Formation of Factories Act. The Factories Act was that we follow now. That is actually inherited from the British government, and this Factories Act was promulgated after the Constitution of India, the Factories Act 1948. This came into force during April 1949. And based on this act, our government, Tamil Nadu state government, it framed the Tamil Nadu factory rules during 1950. And one more thing is, in order to regulate all these acts, the statutaries relevant to the factories and the industry, small scale things, construction sector, we have a DGFSL, that is called as Director General Factory Advisory Service and Labour Institute. He is the authority in framing this Factories Act, revising it and amending it. Earlier, this was called as Chief Advisor of Factories, Bombay. Then formation of National Safety Council. National Safety Council was set up on 4th March 1966 by Ministry of Labour, Government of India. Actually, in order to commemorate the Foundation Day, we observe National Safety Day, March 4th as National Safety Day since 1972. Now we'll see safety policy. How safety policy is formed and what are the components that safety policy has. Actually, safety policy has three parts. Number one is intention. Number two is roles and responsibilities. Number three is the methods adopted. First one is, the first part is intention. For what this policy is actually framed. The commitment. What the industry or else the process or else the organization that commit to follow or the commit to achieve. Say for example, if they are saying like we adhere to zero discharge, or 0 ppm. So that is the intention of the safety policy. Followed by the roles and responsibilities. You may think that the roles and responsibilities actually rely with the authorities or else the hierarchy of people, but it is not so. Roles and responsibility means safety is everyone's responsibility. Whenever that comes to safety, each and every worker, every labor, every visitor inside the industry, they have certain roles and responsibilities on their part in order to accomplish this particular policy. And next thing is the methods adopted. Say for example, if we are just telling like we just added to 0 ppm or 0 discharge, how that particular thing is going to establish or how that particular thing is going to be accomplished, how they are going to achieve it. So that methods, methodologies, practices, that code of conduct and code of practice, everything should be clarified in that particular method statement. Actually, this safety policy that has to be displayed in prominent places of the industries. One in English and another one is in the local language which is understood by the majority of the workers. And this should be signed by the factory manager or else the occupier who is having the ultimate control over the affairs of the factory. Next is this particular safety policy that should undergo revision when there is a management of change. The safety policy must reflect the commitment of the organization and the industries to the worker as well as the other people, society. Then we'll see safety committee. Okay. Normally, in every industry, when there is 250 or more workers, definitely there should be a safety committee. And one more thing is, as per our Tamil Nadu factory rules, it is said that safety committee should be formed or should meet once in a quarter. And one more thing is the committee members, the safety committee members where the representatives from the management and the representative from the workers will be there, where worker representative should be equal or they should be larger than the management representative. The point here is when the worker representative is equal or more than the management representative, they will tell their concerns. If they are less in numbers, they will not tell the things whatever that is going on in the factories, and the management will not know what is actually existing in the factory. So that is why in rule itself it is stated like worker representative should be equal to the management representative or they may be greater from the management representative. And one more thing is the tenure of these representatives, the worker representative as well as the management representative, it is 3 years. And as far as worker representative is concerned, they are elected by the workers itself and their tenure will be 3 years. And one more thing is, whenever this safety committee meeting is convened, it has to be intimated to the workers as well as the committee members in earlier via circular. And one more thing, when the meeting is convened or when the meeting is conducted, the meeting minutes has to be recorded in the local language, and the meeting has to be conducted in the local language that is understood by the most of the worker representative, most of the committee members. And one more thing, after recording the minutes has to be signed by the worker representative so that they will ensure whatever actually discussed in the safety committee meeting, that is recorded in that particular register. And one more thing is the agenda. The safety committee meeting agenda should be whenever if there is a new process or a new equipment, new machinery is coming, that has to be included in the agenda. And the agenda must adhere with the safety policy that the organization or else the industry that is following. And one more thing, if suppose, say for example, if there is an accident in an industry, a fatal accident in an industry, what happens? This safety committee can be convened without any intimation, without any circular. They can immediately call for a safety committee meeting and they can just disseminate the information to the committee members, what went wrong, what has happened, and what measures have been taken for that particular accident. So this is the easiest way of communicating the exact information to the to the workers via the worker representative. So normally safety committee, the duty of the safety committee, the responsibility of the safety committee is to assist the occupier as well as the safety officer in terms of this safety, health and welfare issues of the industries. And on the other side, if some accident happens, the safety committee will help the safety officer to disseminate the information among the workers to avoid this false rumors and all. So actually what has happened and what has been done and what is to be done, that will be disseminated in that safety committee meeting, that will be carried over to the workers and the entire organization. And next one is safety training. This is the important part in any industry. The worker who is coming inside, the fresher, the first day of employment, from that first day of employment, depending upon the company norms, the organization norms, they will be given induction training where the worker will be given an overview about what the company is actually doing, what are the process, what are the equipments involved, and what is the code of practice there, what are the hazards present there, how they have to safeguard themselves, and what is the safety norm, safety practice, and the PPEs, personal protective equipments they are supposed to use inside the process. All the things that has to be given in the training itself, in the induction training itself. The worker should aware that what process is exactly going and what are the hazards due to that process and what is the hazard control hierarchy that is allotted to that process. So all these things, an overview of this must be given to the new employee. And one more thing is, the safety training can also be a refresher training or else a value added training for the existing people or else the experienced people inside the premises. And one more thing is, this safety training, they can have this safety day celebration also along with the safety training. The safety day can be had like a safety week celebration or else a safety month celebration. In the earlier thing, we have discussed March 4th is observed as a safety day every year to commemorate the foundation day of that National Safety Council. So what now industries are doing in our nation is, they just follow March month as a safety month and March, the weeks of the March as a safety week, where lots and lots of training program, competitions, programs and motivational things concerning to safety is given to the benefit of the worker in order to inculcate the safety culture in the organization. And next one is the principles of learning. Normally when we give training, if it is just like a talk, it will not have an impact. If we just teach the people, the workers, they will learn and they will adopt to the situation. And one more thing is, you can motivate the workers by giving rewards, by giving incentives. And also, whenever the worker is involved in a work permit process or else a new process, a short pep talk can be given or else a toolbox meeting of a crisp meeting like 5 minutes or 10 minutes can be given, stating the standard operating procedures, hazards involved, what are the PPEs they have to wear and how they have to perform. So all these things can be given in the safety training in order to inculcate the culture, safety culture in the organization. And that's all for now. We'll just meet in the next module. Thank you.